and Tony podcast brings you the Mild Manner Movie Review with your host, Tim.
And Tony. On this week's episode, we will be talking about Hitch.
With not-so-special guest, Kirk Brown.
Hey guys, good.
Hello.
Cool party.
Great Scott.
I have an army. We have a Hulk. People don't forget. Welcome to Earth.
Oh, yeah.
You play ball like a girl!
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Fucking spectacular.
All right. So we have a special guest. First time Skyping someone in, Kirk Brown. How you been?
Hello.
All right. How was your week been? Good week so
Yeah.
far?
Got pretty drunk last night and watched Nicolas Cage movie.
Did you record your Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, I didn't contribute too much, though.
Yeah, it was a short week for us, recording-wise.
Yeah. But I love this movie, so
Yes, I'm excited that we got to pick it.
yes. All right, so let's jump right in. We're going to skip news this week and go right to trivia.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
I'm Spartacus! I'm Spartacus.
So it might be a little choppy.
I'm Wayne Brady Betts!
I am your father. I am vengeance.
I am the knight. I am Batman!
I am the Clit Commander!
Yes, I'm Batman.
I'm rich, biatch!
This week, the theme is Hitch.
All right, so I'll go first. You guys can guess. Wait till the end, though. I don't think you'll get it, though. It's a tough one. I was in Paul Blart Mall Cop, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, Here Comes the Boom, and I pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Adam Sandler.
That is correct.
It's really throwing us all for a loop. Well,
Yeah,
that's got to be Kevin
Kevin James,
Oh,
yes.
We didn't even turn the light on.
Oh, oh well.
I think we're doing fine.
Okay, so I got some random facts that I thought were interesting. One of his teammates on his wrestling team in high school was future WWE star Mick Foley.
Really?
Yes. He's close friends with Ray Romano. They became friends on their stand-up circuit tour. And this was a funny quote because it actually had to do with Hitch. It was fun because after shooting, Will and I would eat a jar of pickles and tell each other secrets.
To be in that conversation would be... All right. Who am I? The movies are Pineapple Express, Paul, Superbad, and the one that I think is going to give it away is Role Models.
Role models. I gotta look at the list.
Ooh. It was not a very large role, I'll say that. It was like a maybe 45-second, if that. He was just in it for a little bit.
He.
Could have been she. Could have been one of the other ones.
Oh, I know who it is now. It's is it Jolo Trugoli?
Yep.
Yeah, from Brooklyn.
I
Charles
wasn't
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I wasn't going to say Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but yes.
That would have given it away.
Which character is that?
Charles.
He played...
Oh, he's in the speed dating.
The speed dating.
He's got like the mullet.
He's like really into music, and he just talks about music the whole time.
He's in and I Love You Man. He's the everything you got. Give me everything you got. Here we go, Galaxy. Here we go.
I purposely didn't say Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Let's see. And I'll get to a point on this later, but like IMDb trivia sometimes is just too obvious. But one of them, he's an avid horror movie fan. And like what I was saying, he's of Italian and Irish descent, if no one could have guessed that. And then, in addition to writing and performing, he drew cartoons and animations for the state. I don't know what the state is, but he was a part of it. Also plays a very good character actor in many of the things he does.
Yes.
KB.
Superbad was great. You know,
Yes, exactly.
You guys on my...
You guys on MySpace?
My turn, right?
Yes.
Okay, the top 4 movies that this person is in is Hitch. No kidding. Gamer, starring Gerard Butler.
Ooh.
Transporter 2.
Very different.
Well, really?
As well as a movie called Dead Silence.
I know who it is because of the first one. It is Allegra Cole, whatever her name is. Amber
Valletta?
It's Amber Valletta.
There you go.
Ooh.
And I have some interesting trivia about her.
See, I would not have
Her
guessed
net
that.
worth in 1999 was $4 million. However, in 1998, it was $8.8 million. So where that other 4.8 went in a year.
She bet it all on black.
Yeah, bet on black, always.
Additionally, she has 3 half sisters and 2 half brothers. So broken home.
Can't have everything if you're an actor.
Broken home.
Exactly. That's all I got.
All right. So now just random facts about the movie. My 3. The firehouse in the opening scene is from Ghostbusters. I thought that was awesome. Kevin James made up all of his dance moves in the apartment.
I doubled it.
Oh, yeah. And then Eva Mendes was in the Welcome to Miami music video from Will Smith. And I watched it. It's worth a watch. It's great.
Yeah.
But she's the girl who says,
Bienvenido a Miami.
A Miami. Yeah, and he didn't remember her.
All right, my 3 facts. Will Smith suggested Kevin James for the role of Albert because he was a big fan of The King of Queens, which is another solid show. And then my number 2, I guess I duplicated, but Kevin James made up his own dance moves for the scene when he's dancing in the apartment. And this is one of those IMDb trivias that's you don't really need, but Sarah Milas' sister's car is a Mini Cooper.
If you couldn't tell,
Wow.
it is a Mini Cooper.
I don't know why anyone thought that was relevant, but it's on the IMDb trivia, so.
That's funny.
I have 3 facts of trivia that were not on IMDb.
Oh.
Ooh. You're doing the real
Just from
homework.
my own research myself. Yeah. And I'd like to play the song that I'm going to be mentioning.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That song features twice in the movie. It is Nate Dogg, Ghostface Killer, and Mark Ronson, the same white rapper who did with Bruno Mars, that Uptown Funk.
Oh.
Okay.
See, now these are the trivia facts that we really need.
Yes. The second one, it took me a couple times to watch the movie to figure this out, but at the beginning, Michael Rappaport's character,
Yeah.
the guy they're playing pool with,
Yeah.
that's the roommate that Hitch is talking about that married his sister when he's all messed up on
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's interesting.
Never knew
Yeah,
that.
you would not get that
And-
like on the first watch.
Yeah.
Oh, and my last piece of trivia is that at any time, anywhere, you can turn on cable and Hitch is on. least Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is always on, especially on Freeform.
Yes.
Yes, you are correct.
That's a good one. Okay, now it's time for our main event, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Hold on to your butt.
This week, we will be talking about a professional date doctor that finds his game doesn't quite work on the gossip columnist with whom he's smitten in Hitch.
And so we'll just keep it the same order, and I'll do my top 5. My number 1 is Albert dancing. I could picture that. I have a problem. I have 2 problems, but I'm saving one, and it's a good one. But yeah, that's definitely number 1. And then like the slap that Will Smith does. Yeah, the double slap. Get out. Number 2, the allergic reaction. Just him like walking through the store and then chugging all the Benadryl. Slash like all the bad dates. The Butcher of Cadiz, or what was it? Whatever, wherever they were from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a great one. Number 3, the intro is kind of like a montage, so I had to pick it.
You in a montage.
Yep, love it. 4, the dynamic between Will Smith and Kevin James. I'm surprised. Have they done another movie together? I feel like they should.
I don't think they have.
But
But you're right.
Yeah.
They should do another one. Hitch 2.
It's 2.
Hitched. Yes.
Number 5, the boat scene when he realizes he didn't help Albert at all, and then Albert tries to kill him. And then honorable mentions, the wedding scene at the end is good, them all dancing, and then I watched this scene like 3 or 4 times when he gets his shirt stuck in the cab and then rips off. Then he like yells for a cab right after that. I don't know why, I just laugh at that one over.
Is
and
that
over
the
again.
same shirt that gets like?
Yeah. All right.
long-
Yeah, that shirt was completely destroyed. How is it how was it fine?
She keeps getting it pressed like every.
Yeah. Did they re-sew
So
it?
basically, your top 5 parts was the whole movie.
Yes. I mean, it is a great movie.
It's hard to just pick out scenes from a near perfect movie.
Yes.
All right, so for my top 5, number 1, the dance moves. And just the scene how he's like, oh, that's the one thing I'm not worried about. And Will Smith is like, no, you show me.
You're too confident.
Don't ever do that again. My number 2 was the date ideas / the places. And how like the one scene with the messenger, how he definitely had like different gifts or whatever for the different dates, which is not something that most people would think about, but it's a small detail that's pretty funny. My number 3 is that he thinks he's too good for his own advice / it won't work on himself. And I'm glad they actually had the scene where Albert called him out on it.
Yeah.
Where he was like, oh, you won't take your own advice or it's like he won't take his own advice because he's been hurt before. And Albert calls him, he says, you're selling this stuff, but you don't believe in your own product. Just a nice scene where they actually kind of mentioned it instead of just glossing over it. My number 4, the cast, like the background and supporting characters. So my first one was the guy from Burn Notice.
Yeah.
Vance, whatever.
Munson.
Yeah, Vance Munson.
Which that sounds like a farmer's name. Like he's working on Wall Street.
I can accept Vance, but the last name they probably could have changed.
Power steering, power.
Power steering, power moves, or something.
Our top.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Jolo Truglio, just like the little 30 seconds, but you notice him.
Michael
Rappaport, another one. Number 5, the narration / breaking the fourth wall to kind of set up and end the movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Where he's like talking directly at you.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of Deadpoolish, but before Deadpool was a mainstream. And then my honorable mentions, the jet skis, just because I love to jet ski. So that was a pretty funny scene. The practice kissing scene with Will Smith and Kevin James. It's like, you come 90 and then I come 10.
You overeager son of a bitch.
And then when he's describing his consulting gig, it's like exactly, he's not really lying throughout the entire movie. Like brand management and advertising, you can relate that to just being someone's self. So I thought that was kind of funny, realistic nod where it's like, he's not lying, so it's not a bad thing. All right.
Nice. Good choices.
Yep.
All right, my turn. Well, obviously the scene with Albert dancing is a favorite. That's a good one.
Don't you bite your lip.
That's Kirk Senior from the background. But one of my favorites is the entire boardroom scene where Albert quits his job, but specifically where she like comes to his office. And he's trying to answer the door, but Hitch is still choking him. and then she's writing down his number, or her number, and he's like, "Wow, it's working for me." Hitch bring his eyes back.
Or when he puts
and
the.
Also,
do you have the pen? Yeah.
The pen.
And then taps it.
Yeah. Yes, I do have a pen.
Close your mouth.
Also, I mean, not just funny scenes, but I like the endearing moments as well. So Hitch's speech at the speed dating.
Oh,
He's talking about, this is why I fall in love is so damn hard.
I was gonna put that as a quote,
and
but
Vance is a pig.
That is a great scene.
And a funny theme throughout the movie is people saying things like anything for Hitch. It reminds me of like Parks and Rec, where it's like Leslie Knope gets as many favors.
I had a Happy Gilmore moment when that was one of the ones that I thought of when he like rents the rink out.
Yeah.
For Happy Gilmore, anything.
And then another one where, after it becomes public that Hitch is the date doctor, the lady comes up and tell me you do not know who this guy is. Ma'am, I've never seen this man before in my life. So, see you later, Tony. And then an honorable mention. I like how Kevin James teaches Allegra how to whistle, and then at the end she uses the whistle to get his attention when he's choking Hitch.
Yeah.
So it kind of comes full circle, and I like that one.
Or like when he's talking to Allegra through the door and Will Smith's there at the end. Well, at the end though, when he's on the talking to Sarah, he does the same thing. He's like, "Oh, close your mouth." And he's like,
"It's like, can we just close the door?"
Yeah.
I don't have me.
I don't have me. Yeah. She just thinks he's crazy.
My dad keeps saying, "What about Chip? What about Chip?" And I'm like, "That's in the next."
That's in the next.
We're getting to it.
That is a good one.
Over eager son.
Okay, so a few problems with the movie. Not so much problems, but Parks and Rec lied to me. They said that there was going to be a Hitch 2, Son of a Hitch, and I have yet to see that movie.
That could be the sequel.
Yeah.
Kevin James.
And then I was going to, I'll talk about that in the recasting. I have a double recasting. What?
I left it kind of for a sequel, like, the old lady is now the...
Or like a prequel movie about the old lady setting people up.
Yeah.
I still think it was Will Smith, but she was definitely in on it for sure.
She was the mastermind of the whole
She
thing.
was the real. He learned from her. And
yeah, that's the real story we're not getting.
And then my problem in the movie was the improper walkie-talkie usage. How he started using it properly and ending everything with over.
Yeah.
And then he just stopped for a little bit, and then it ended with over.
Yeah, and then he yelled at her for not saying over on the very last thing she said.
The sentence is what, Brian?
My problem is, they talk about Allegra's last boyfriend who like owned Sweden. I think was the quote. I would have liked to met that guy.
Actually, I think this was in the IMDb trivia. The picture of the guy was one of the Skarsgårds.
Yes, I did see that.
But you're right. I think we should have seen more about actually him instead of just like a newspaper headline.
Sure.
Yeah.
Especially for someone owning a country.
Okay, so favorite quotes. Now we're getting to Chip. My first one is Sarah, what's your name? Chip. They call me Chip. Oh, you can't get him to stop? Just reminds me of Chip, too, because we call this guy Jack Chip. And for no reason.
For no reason other than
to
just
call
to
him
call him
Chip.
Chip.
Number 2 is, like the opening, with Hitch. I think he's narrating his basic principles. No matter what, no matter when, no matter who, any man has a chance to sweep any woman off her feet. He just needs the right broom. Thought that was a good one. And then ending it with basic principles. There are none. That was a good one.
Like you said, it's a circle.
It's a circle.
It comes around. All right. So my favorite quotes. So this was when Hitch met Vance. He goes, "Let me make one thing clear to you, Rabbi. I need professional help." And Hitch goes, "Well, that's for damn certain, and I'm glad you can admit it, because generally that's the hardest part." My second quote. Right.
Is Munson a Jewish name?
Breaking news.
Breaking
My second one, Hitch says, "Life is not the amount of breaths you take. It's the moments that take your breath away." He says it a couple times, I think. Or at least that line said a couple times. And then my number 3, which I totally forgot that this was from Hitch. But after the Ellis Island date, and she just runs off, he goes, "I saw that going differently in my mind." And it just reminds me of the GIF that goes around.
Oh, yeah.
It's just Will Smith, like, "I saw that going differently." And then my number 4 quote, it's Albert and Hitch talking. He goes, "It's because I'm cool, right?" And he goes, "No, that's not it." I think it was towards the end of the movie when he meets back up with him.
I think
So
I could definitely pick one of Kirk's. I know it's going to be the toast. Did you not pick that one?
Yeah, cheat death, not steal. No, that's a good one.
That is a very good quote, yeah.
I've heard you do that multiple times.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you hang around me long enough, you realize that none of what I say is original. So my favorite quote is, it's just simple, but it's like, well, I mean, how well do you really know your accountant? When they're using Hitch of knowing Albert. I also like Vance Munson is a pig, and that whole speech, as I mentioned before, is great.
Yeah, it's like the turning point, yeah.
What?
To comment on Tony, you said because I'm cool. No, that's sort of at the beginning when.
It was at the beginning.
He's like, imagine yourself as an iceberg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know I'm heavy.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, you're right. That was fun.
Another good one. My last one, number 4. I just wrote it down because I just figured it. I just remembered it. Is when Albert's talking to those 2 jerks at the fashion show. And he says, "Let me guess, disgusting." Think about it.
Egon? What is it? Eggnog?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your name, Eggnog? That's my dad's favorite quote. That's what he just said.
Okay, moving on to recasting. This is kind of. I think when I was thinking is if there was gonna be a second one,
Who would be the next?
who would be the next in the second one?
I think
If you didn't keep it the same, but I picked Adam Devine as Albert and Andrew Bachelor as Hitch, and he's the black guy from when we first met. He's like his buddy in that, so they work good together, I think. And
What year is it?
what year is it? Or I was thinking Aziz would be funny as Hitch. Just play Tom Haverford pretty much.
Oh, that's true. That would work. Looking up Andrew Bachelor right now. Okay, Adam Devine. Okay, that guy. Yeah. My recasting. I went with. For Albert, I did Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
The fat Jonah Hill. Now he's
Jonah
now
Hill.
he's skinny Jonah Hill. And then for Hitch, I went with Bradley Cooper. Someone who could like demand charisma on screen. Is what I went with. Also, he just can't do anything wrong.
Bradley
Yeah.
I went with a couple of the smaller roles that could have been recasted. Number one, the security guard on Ellis Island. Bring Morgan Freeman in. Why not?
True, he is just narrating throughout the
He
whole.
gets more street cred. Number two, Sarah's boss at the Gossip magazine.
Yeah.
Sam Waterston, my favorite actor.
Ooh.
Jack McCoy from Law and Order. Automatically makes it a classier gossip column. Goes from TMZ to Us Weekly.
That immediate boost.
And my last one, this one's sort of just oddball, off the wall. Recasting Maggie, Allegra's gay best friend.
Yeah.
Paul Scheer, the Andre from The League.
That's a weird one.
That would be weird. Yeah, I think that'd be funny.
I also like that too. How he thought it was the girl in that scene, and he's
Yeah.
like, no, it's him.
Your hands are soft too.
Is he gay? I don't think so.
All right, final thoughts on the movie. I love this movie, and like you said, it is on TV at
All the
all
time.
times, and I will sit and watch it no matter where it's at on the.
Most of the time
movie.
when I come in on it, it's when he has the allergic reaction. It's like always right then. It always seems to be when it comes on.
Yeah. Other than that, I think we
Yeah,
covered most
definitely.
of it.
I was headhunted this podcast specifically for this movie.
I will attest to that
And-
because as soon as we picked it, he's like, I'm going to text him right now and see if he wants
And
to
that
do
was
it.
the quickest response. Just,
I said yes 1,000 times.
okay, so let's wrap it up with ranking some Will Smith movies. Usually it's a top 5, but I turned it into a top 10.
He always writes top 5 and then writes like 15 movies. So
Get to honorable mention, and there's like 10 of them. It's like, oh. Okay, so let's start with honorable mentions. Suicide Squad, not a great movie, but he is good in it. Concussion.
it's the best movie. What are you talking about?
And then Wild Wild West. Instead of doing The Matrix, he chose that.
Should be higher.
It should be higher. Number 10, Bright, was really good. 9, Hancock, which is actually the DVD I watched was a double feature of Hancock
really?
and Hitch. So I'll have to watch that later. 8, Pursuit of Happiness. 7, I Am Legend. 6, Bad Boys. 2, then 1 was my order.
Everyone knows. Yeah, Bad Boys
yeah.
2 was the. 1 was great, but 2 is definitely.
Much better. 5, Enemy of the State. That's another one that's always on TV, I feel like. I always find that one on FX.
Pete Hackman's.
Yeah. 4, Men in Black, in the order. They are 1, 2, and 3. 3, iRobot. That's a good one.
That's another classic one, yeah.
2, Independence Day, which I think is my dad's favorite movie. I think it got stuck in our DVD player. Or just never came out. And then number 1, Hitch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not surprising, but
Yes.
all right. So I don't have any honorable mentions because I'm pretty sure I named all the movies with
you've
Will
seen.
Smith that I've seen. I'm not gonna rank him in a movie I haven't seen. I'm not gonna pull. I'm not gonna do that on this one. But my number 9, Anchorman 2,
Yeah.
his little cameo.
For ESPN news.
Number 8, Wild Wild West. Number 7, Suicide Squad. 6, I Am Legend. Another one of those movies where it's when it came out, everyone's like, "Oh, this is the greatest movie." Number 5, iRobot. Number 4, Bad Boys 1 and 2, and possibly 3.
Yeah.
Whenever that decides to come out. Number 3, Hitch. Number 2, Men in Black, the whole series. I'll even go in order 1, 2, and 3. And then number 1, Independence Day.
Respectable.
Where does Aladdin fit?
Oh, Aladdin's
Aladdin
going straight to number 1. What are you talking about?
All right, I'll start with my honorable mention, which was the new Aladdin trailer,
Perfect.
which is just eerie. It's just frightening.
Right. It's and I'm sure it'll fit in the movie, but on its own, it's kind of a little off-putting.
The
I love
amount
the-
of Arrested Development memes I've seen.
Oh my god!
based
Or
on it.
I've
Just-
seen the Trailer Park Boys one where he's blue. It's him and Randy
Yeah.
Leahy. I love or the all the Fresh Prince ones. Them changing the words is great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In Agrabah, born and raised.
Yeah.
My number. I adhered to the top 5 thing. Is that
That's totally.
that's
Totally.
that's not
That's fine.
standard for this podcast? I assume. So, number 5, Mike Lowry, Bad Boys.
Mike Lowry.
Number 4, I enjoyed Focus. The one
Oh,
where they're-
Never seen that
I
one.
haven't seen it.
no,
Good.
it's good. It's worth a watch.
It made your
That's with-
top 5.
Oh, that's with
It's got that one.
Margot Robbie.
It's got that
right?
one girl in it.
Margot Robbie?
Yeah.
Yes, Margot Robbie. Yes.
Because that was right before Suicide Squad, I think.
Yeah.
It was like
couple
one.
years,
They came
3
out
years.
pretty close to each other.
My dad is confirming that. Yes,
Confirmed. We have our own guy in the chair now.
Number 3. Number 3, I Am Legend. Post-apocalypse movies. Always on my list.
I think I still represent probably one of the saddest saddest scenes in any movie ever
The dog.
with the dog.
It's amazing how like people can watch movies like like The Kingsman, and like see 100 people get killed in a church, and it's fine, but then one dog dies, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
You do have a very
I
good
guess-
point there, though.
They were racist, though.
Yeah. Number 2, Hancock.
Okay.
I really like Hancock. I'm a big Jason Bateman fan myself as well. The Everyman plays the same character.
Yeah.
Number 1, Hitch. My favorite.
That's why we went to the
Really
master
good.
for it.
Yeah.
Also, I'd also like to bring up something on Tim's list. The fact that Bright is even on there questions your
You didn't like that movie?
Questions everything he's ever done.
credibility. I didn't like it. Was like
I liked it.
was so ridiculous.
What'd you expect?
Lord of the Rings.
Well, when you watch a half orc, half human police team, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't better than Wild Wild West. Come on.
Yeah, I will defend Wild Wild West
Okay.
till the end. I will
Fine.
always defend that movie.
Fine. I'll allow that. Maybe I'll move Wild Wild West
I'd
out.
like to also comment on the notes. It said we were going to talk about Logan Lucky.
Oh
Oh.
yes, I started that movie Thank you for bringing that up. I totally passed it up. I watched like probably 95% of it. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I'll finish this tomorrow, and I haven't finished it yet. So I'm like at the end when they're stealing the money and the security guards are like walking in to try and investigate what's going on. But so far, I like
That's
it.
a good one.
It's a funny movie. It's an oddball movie for sure.
Yeah.
But I definitely enjoy
Great
it.
cast, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I think
You got
one of my-
Magic Mike and Kylo Ren and James Bond.
James Bond.
that's a team up for the ages.
Got Magic
And-
Mike.
You know, I started watching it with a bunch of guys, and it was like a 4-3 vote whether to keep watching it or turn it off after the first half hour.
I was gonna say it. You're
But I'm
right.
glad I finished.
The first, yeah, it's
A
really
little
weird
bit
in the
slow,
beginning,
too,
yeah. But
And then
picks
Katie
up.
Holmes shows up,
Yeah, oh yeah.
and
Rachel Dawes
and
there,
Roy
too.
Roy
And who?
from The Office.
Oh yeah. Roy.
Yeah.
No one knows his name. It's just Roy.
Every time we mention him, he's always Roy from The Office. We forget his name every time.
All right.
Another movie I just watched was Upgrade. That was pretty good.
I've heard very good things about that movie.
Who's in that?
It's basically Tom Hardy in Venom. It's not Tom Hardy. It's the guy who looks exactly like him.
It's not
And he's got the same voice in his head, you know.
Tom Hardy's.
I don't know. I think
Oh,
they said
it's,
like a Venom type thing. I think the filmmakers saw an
my God, I
opportunity.
thought that
and
was
they
Tom
just
Hardy.
grabbed it.
Oh yeah, does look like him.
You're right. That looks. He could definitely double Tom
Yeah.
Hardy.
I gotta do it since we're talking about him. I was born in the dark. You were
You could-
really
you could-
molded by it.
I've heard better out of you. Come on. I've heard better Bane and
What a beautiful voice.
Awesome. Peaky Blinders, Tom Hardy is so great.
I heard he's not going to be on anymore.
He died in the last.
Spoilers.
Oh,
that would
He
prevent
died.
that would prevent you from coming back in that type of show.
It didn't prevent Obi-Wan from coming back. So.
Oh, ooh, you got me there.
True. Okay, well, thank you, Kirk. It looks like that's been our show. Hope you enjoyed it.
You can follow us on social media and our website, timandtonytalk.com. And remember, share this with your friends.
And make sure to join us next week for the Mild Manner movie review when we discuss I Love You Man for our bromance movie of the month.
Same bat
Awesome.
time. Yes. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening. I'm Tim.
I'm Tony. And we are the dynamic
Kirk.
duo. We also had, yes, I wasn't sure. We always mix it up.
Oh,
but
yeah. Three Stooges.
Free Sturgis, yes. Thank you to Kirk for coming on and being our residential Hitch expert.
Yes. And our first Skype.
Yeah. And Mr. Kirk.